Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with Bulldog Tennis, and we're joined by head coach Mark Doren. And Coach, first of all, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Rob.
I know you guys are already well into your season, a couple months in already. Just maybe talk about the progress both teams have made here over the course of the year so far.
Yeah, it's been a great few months. We had an awesome fall, so I was really excited to get started. And we've come out really hot. I mean, the women's team came out with some great wins to start the season, and they were just super focused. And then we, have had some tough competition, but everyone's still staying pretty positive. And I think both teams have started out the way we kind of wanted to. We're very young. 10 of my 19 players between the two teams are brand new to the team. So, we really weren't sure what we were going to get, but they've all really just bought into the plan and bought into the team culture, and it's been a lot of fun.
Obviously, you've played some tough competition, as you mentioned. Played some regional matches in the month of February. You also went on a spring break trip. Just talk about that experience and what you learned about your team on both sides.
Yeah, we've been opening up the last couple seasons with UIndy to start, and they're traditionally a top 5 team in the country. And for the women to get a win against them, it was pretty exciting. It's the first time in my short 7-year career that the women have beat UIndy. So it gave them a lot of confidence to kind of go into a couple other matches that they knew were going to be difficult, and they played well. And the men started well as far as competing. Took us a few matches to get a couple wins, but then really took off after that. But then going down to Florida was just every year I go down and we schedule some of the best teams in the country. We do it on purpose just so we can see what else is out there. Tennis is an outdoor sport, so majority of the top 20 teams in the country are down south. So for both teams to be ranked in the top 20 this year a few different times was awesome. But to go down there and get some outdoor tennis before we come back, and now snow, so even this weekend we won't be outdoors, so it's kind of tough after getting all that practice. But yeah, I think that that trip is essential for us to be able to see where we're at, build some confidence, and be ready to play the best teams. Obviously,
one of those best teams. The men were able to beat a top 10 team in the country. What was that like, getting a big win down there in Florida?
Yeah, that was exciting. I would guess if you asked most coaches, they would have picked Embry-Riddle over us. And for us to pull out the win was really neat. I think the guys knew that we had worked hard and knew that we could do something like that. But if you look at it on paper, they're a loaded team. They're just really strong from all over the world, and the whole rating system, they're really high. But the guys played well, and as the match went on, you could just see confidence growing and growing and growing, and especially outdoors. We had been 6 months since we played an outdoor match, so it was nice that it was our third match of the week. So they had a little bit of experience under their belt playing outside, and I think that really showed that day, and hopefully it shows that anything's possible, and when we get back here that we can continue that success.
As we go to some of the highlights, obviously you were back indoors, as you mentioned, this past weekend, and starting off conference play at home against Lake Superior State. As we go to the women's match, and how nice was it to be able to play your first GLIAC match at home?
Yeah, it was awesome. To start the GLIAC at home is always important, just because you feel like you have that little bit of an advantage. All the teams are pretty excited because we got our courts resurfaced, so our courts are not as fast anymore, which gave us a huge advantage. But it was great. Lake State found out Thursday that they are losing their men's and women's tennis team after this year. So we really didn't know what we were going to get. We didn't know if they were going to come in Friday, kind of dejected and not really focused, or if they were going to say, hey, let's just give it all our last season, and they did. They came in and played really, really hard. So we had to really stay focused, and it was great to get a win. The women's side came down to a 3-3 tie with our number 6 singles last on court. It's kind of unique in our situation when there's only 4 courts compared to 6 at a lot of other places. So often it comes down to our 5 and 6. So I really have to, hope that, I have my 5 and 6 ready for that really, intense, come down to them type moments. And Catherine Ernst really stepped up and clinched it for the match to win 4-3.
Obviously, you fell in the doubles point here, but really battled back, got some big wins here in singles action.
Yeah, we've kind of prided ourselves the last 6 years on winning doubles points. We usually have a very high success rate in that, and we've been struggling a little bit lately. And it is just, like I said, a new young team, getting to know each other and having to see who meshes well with each other. But to be able to respond after losing that doubles point was really big, and I think that we have a couple upperclassmen. We only have one senior this year, and she's kind of led the way as far as being able to make everyone feel confident, and when we do lose the doubles, go into singles and still feel good.
Always nice to start off conference play and get a win in your first match here with a lot of conference matches left to go on the women's side.
Yeah, it's so big because we come up this weekend with our big match against Grand Valley on Friday. So to have a win going into that and feel like we're ready to be back indoors is really important, and it's a long weekend coming up. So I think that it's set the tone for a great practice today, and hopefully every day this week leading up to Friday.
As we shift kind of gears to the men's side, maybe talk about the men's performance against Lake State, a 5-2 win on the men's side.
Yeah, another doubles point loss, which was difficult. But I was really excited just to see the body language and just the emotions after that loss. I could see that it hurt, but I could see that it was really going to push them to play really well in singles. And the Lake State men's team plays with so much passion. They just do. They just bring so much energy and they're really feisty. And I was hoping, like I said, with a young team, that wouldn't affect some of my young players. And it actually, they kind of gave it back. And it was good to see. It was good to see them kind of embrace that. And we had a pretty good crowd out there for our first match of the year. So it was really nice to then close it out and just see that how well they support each other and how well that they know who they can be.
Maybe talk about who are some of the key returners on the men's side, some players that have kind of led the way in terms of the experience coming back.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. One senior again with Alessandro on the men's team, and just a team captain, emotional leader. He just, when our photographers come and take pictures of him, like 90% of the pictures are him just pumping his fist in the air and yelling. So that's awesome to have that. And then we have twin brothers, Eric and Kevin Kovacs. Eric a year ago was playing one of the top spots in the team, and then broke his ankle, and then had surgery and came back, and now he's playing 3 for us. And his brother Kevin played in the 6th spot last year and is now playing in the number 1 spot, and extremely successful. Been ranked in the top 50 in the country a few times, and it's just kind of neat to see someone that's has stepped up from that bottom to the top, and he's just so calm. If you were to watch him compared to the rest of the team, you have Alessandro screaming and yelling, and Kevin doesn't say a word for 2 hours, but he's just so under control. And to have the 2 brothers that kind of feed off each other, and they play 1 doubles together, and they've been very successful, ranked top 30 in the country in doubles. And so I mean, I think the 3 of them really stepped up as upperclassmen and kind of led the way for everybody.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time, and I know some big matches coming up this weekend as you take on Grand Valley and Davenport, and the women against Saginaw Valley this weekend, all at home.
Yeah, it's a crazy weekend. 3 matches in one weekend is not typical. Unfortunately, there was a schedule snafu, so I think we're just going to embrace it, be positive, and kind of get after it, and hopefully start with a great start on Friday.
Well, thanks again. That'll do it for Ferris Sports Update. A reminder, you can follow all the action online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Have a great week.